Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to take you along with me as we go thrifting. So I just got this GoPro and so I don't really know how to use it, but we are going to try. I'm also very shy just going into the thrift stores and trying to film and having something, a chest mount, so it'll be like right here and having it be somewhat out in the open. I'm going to see if I can conceal it a little bit, but a little nervous about filming in the thrift store. But I did want to start doing some better thrift with me videos. You guys have asked to see some of the things I'm passing on, how I'm thrifting, and then just some of the things that I look for. So I hope that this video will be helpful to you. All right, let's jump into the thrifting. So upon entering the thrift store, the first thing I always do is look for new racks, and I try to go really early in the week, typically on Mondays, because I find that's when they are putting new racks out. So on this particular day, I did see a lot of new racks. So you're going to see me going through those first. And typically I'll try to go through just about everything on the rack unless my eyes are able to skip through, because this is inventory that is brand new and most people have not touched this inventory. This is where I find most of my good items. So before I even bother with looking at the brand, I usually feel the items to see if they feel like quality and if they feel like a good material, and then I would check brand, and then usually I would check the material tag. This was an LL Bean sweater. It was a cotton cashmere blend, so I did end up picking this one up. I also look for anything that just looks unique, wacky, or weird. This sweater definitely caught my eye. Super fuzzy sweater, and I liked the color scheme of it. I did do a couple looks at it, but decided it wasn't a modern enough style that I felt like someone could wear it. It was more of a 3/4 length sleeve, which I don't typically enjoy picking up. So I spotted this shirt and it looked pretty vintage, and I noticed that there was some dating underneath the graphic. So 1990s Dr. Seuss vintage t-shirt. I didn't do comps. I went ahead and just picked it up because I thought that it was pretty cool. I actually found a lot of vintage on this rack. This Betty Boop sweatshirt is fire. Also has dating for 1990s there. And so once I started finding vintage, I definitely went through the entire rack. Did not do comps on this either, just put it in my cart. I did do comps later, and some of those are going for over $100. I also came across this t-shirt. This was not vintage, but it was from the 2000s. I believe this brand is called The Mountain. Yep. And I just thought this was a pretty cool graphic. Definitely something I thought I could sell on Depop. I liked the faded tie-dye look, and so I grabbed that one as well. I also really like this Christmas sweater, but I decided to leave this one behind. Sometimes I will pick up Christmas during the year, but this one I didn't think was special enough, and I didn't see any dating to indicate whether it was true vintage or not. This sweater also caught my eye for the like Western print, and I thought this was super on trend. I didn't know the brand very well, and it didn't feel super high quality. I tried to look for a material tag to see if it was wool or anything special, but I did end up leaving that one behind. I also found this vintage Scooby-Doo sweatshirt, and sorry, my phone's going to be on the way, but this dating was actually on the back of the tag there, and this was also 1990s, and I did end up getting this sweatshirt as well. I also saw this vintage sweatshirt, at least I thought it was vintage, and I put it in my cart to research later and look over later because somebody was crowding me. So sometimes if I need to get out of the way, I will throw stuff in my cart to look at later. Next, I came across this sweater. It felt like really high quality. The tag looked promising, but it was missing a ton of buttons, but it did feel so super quality. I checked the material tag. I believe it was a wool alpaca blend. Very, very thick, nice material. I decided because of how quality it felt, I would do comps really quick just to make sure this wasn't one worth picking up if it was super rare, but I did end up putting that one back because of the missing buttons. Don't forget the belt section while you're at the thrift store. It can usually be a quick one to go through. I just usually look for really ornate buckles or really good quality leather. I'm usually only there for a minute or two. So these other new rags were not as fruitful, but I did come across this down jacket. So I always pull out the tag, make sure that it is down, but because of all the feathers poking out of this one, which is somewhat normal for down, because of all of it coming out of the seams, that wasn't something I wanted to have to explain to the buyer. So for the condition, I left that behind. These are a pair of Athleta leggings. The tag was kind of worn on the inside, but the leggings checked out. So I did end up getting these. I also think that leggings with side pockets or back pockets tend to add value to leggings. Came across this Duluth Trading Company flannel. If you guys don't know Duluth, they do make pretty quality heavy duty clothing. So I was just making sure that all of the buttons were there. There are a lot of buttons on men's button-up shirts. The button-ups, the pockets, the cuffs. You always want to check that they're all there. This is a Tommy Bahama reversible pullover. I used to pick these up all the time and make good money on them. However, the value has since decreased, and since this one was a pretty neutral color, nothing special, I left that behind. I also used to pick up these Nike Pros, and those have since gone down in value. This one has a little bit of pilling, so I did not end up picking up either one of those. So I noticed that these pair of pants feel like high quality. I checked the tag. They are Nike Dry Fit. They seem to be men's, and they are that tapered leg, and they have the logo. So I definitely picked these up. Athletic wear is great during this time of the year, so I'm always looking for good athletic wear pieces. I saw that these leggings had pockets, and so for that feature I took a closer look, but they ended up not being a brand worth getting. So now I'm at the shoe section, and I'm basically looking for anything that is in season or feels like high quality leather. Right now I really want to pick up boots, and I also noticed that slip-on shoes are pretty popular as well. So I'm just going through and looking for anything that looks high quality, same thing that I do for clothing, and then investigating further if it feels like something worth getting. Most of the time I'm passing on shoes because of the quality or condition. I find it's really hard to clean up shoes and it takes a lot of time. So where I used to pick something up and spend an hour cleaning it up, I'll no longer do that for time reasons. This store has a very small linen section, but sometimes I find good stuff here. This blanket caught my eye. I thought maybe it was Anthropologie or a nicer brand. So here I am looking for the tag. They wanted $24.99 for this, but I did notice this giant hole, so I stopped investigating and just moved on. So now that I've gotten through all of the new racks and gathered anything that I want to take off those new racks, now I am moving on to the regular section of the thrift store, which is, more heavily picked through. So I am going to be trying to skip over items and only looking at items that I think are high quality, and that way I can get through the store much faster. Immediately I saw this American Eagle cardigan, which I thought was pretty cool, but it had a couple of pulls through it, and it's American Eagle, it wouldn't have sold much in perfect condition anyways, so if it has any falls whatsoever, I'm leaving those behind and not wasting my time trying to correct any flaws. You'll see that I take more time when I'm at the ends of the aisles, and if you watch my 2021 sourcing tips video, you'll know that a lot of items get discarded and put out at the ends of the racks, so I always spend more time at the ends of the racks just to account for that reason. I came across this vintage Forenza sweater, which I absolutely loved, had great cable knit details, but it had some pretty set-in yellowed stains. I wasn't 100% sure that I could get those out, and they were pretty dark, so I decided that that was not a flaw that I wanted to keep, and unfortunately I ended up putting this sweater back, but I absolutely love that. That would have been something I would have definitely picked up had those heavy set-in stains not been there. found this Vince sweater, which I believe was a wool and cashmere blend, but it had a lot of staining, a couple signs of pilling, and it's just not worth my time to try and get those out and possibly get them out because I don't think I would have been able to. So even though this was a great piece, because of those flaws, definitely had to leave that one behind. This felt like some thicker material, so I took a closer look. This is Texture and Thread by Madewell, and I have picked up this exact top before. However, I had it in black, and I don't believe it has sold yet. So what I wanted to do was check for this specific comp in this color, and so I'm just double checking that now. You can see I go back in and put pink to narrow down the search. So I'd never seen this tag before, but it looked very Anthropology to me. So I checked the RN number on the tag inside, and it was indeed Anthropology. However, I had no idea what the brand was, so I just did a quick Google search and basically tried to figure out what this brand was called and did quick comps on it. I ended up leaving this behind because I didn't think it was a special enough item, but I would recommend, if you're curious about a tag, looking at the RN number on the inside to see if it's Urban Outfitters or Anthropology, and that might help you make a better decision. Came across a pair of Chico's, I believe they were linen pants with this really pretty print all over them. With things that are pretty specific like this, it's really easy to do specific comps to figure out if the item's going to sell or not, and then you can focus heavily on sell-through rate. So that's what I did here with these pants. I just checked to see if the sell-through rate was there, and there were some that sold. Not enough good enough sell-through rate for me to pick them up, so I did end up leaving those behind. So I came across this pair of Zara pants. One good thing about Zara is that you can really quickly look up the exact style name. If I wouldn't have looked up the style, I probably would have ended up picking these up. They felt like high quality, they were a nice style. However, Zara is one of those brands that there's a lot of it out there, so I do think it's important to check the exact style number and then do comps based on the exact style. So I'm quickly looking up the style number on Google, which you can see on the tag here, and after I figure out what the style name is, then I go and look up for that exact thing on eBay and do my comps. And after doing that, I realized that this would not sell for what I wanted it to. So now I'm quickly just going through the dresses, and one tip I have is to look at the bottom of the dresses and try to focus on ones that are longer length. Longer length definitely sells for more money typically, and then besides that, I'm just looking for some interesting prints or anything that looks high quality. Moving on to the jeans. Jeans are such an easy section to go through because you can basically skate through and only look at items with that thick stitching or anything that looks really thick and high quality. So you'll see I quickly, very quickly go through the jeans. So easy to look for. You don't need to go through every single jean on the rack if you just look for key indicators of high quality items. This Chico's bag pretty quickly because it has patchwork details on it, which is super trendy if you didn't know. So right here I am checking for the material tag to find out if this is real leather or faux leather. It feels like faux leather to me. And so because it was vegan leather, I felt like I really needed to do comps on it because that kind of brought down the value. So I did comps on Chico's faux leather handbags, and they did not have a great sell-through rate. The style was really cute, but I ended up leaving it behind simply because it was faux leather. So here I am at another thrift store. I was able to get a very small amount of footage at this thrift store. There was a lot of people around, but I will show you what I have. I came across this J. Crew piece. It felt like quality. I think it was a mohair blend, but the style was just really outdated and I couldn't see somebody wearing this right now. Plus black is a really hard color to photograph, so I went ahead and left that one behind. So that is the end of today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you did like the Thrift With Me videos. That way I know what kind of content you guys like to see. Let me know how thrifting is going for you down in the comments below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.